Welcome to From the Pilot's Seat. Join me as we explore real aviation stories, lessons learned, and incredible flying machines. If you love flying or want to learn, hit subscribe and come along for the ride. For deeper insights, check out my books, Lessons from the Sky and From the Pilot's Seat. They could make all the difference on your next flight.
At 2,000 feet above a small Australian town, the Warbirds are circling. Down below, the crowds are gathering. Props are being swung. Jet engines explode into life. It's the Temora Aviation Museum's Flying Weekend, one of the most unusual air displays in Australia.
The people who come and visit us are really interested because we're not on any direct track. There's no train service to Temora. We have 5.5 hours from Sydney, 6 or 7 hours from Melbourne, and we still get 40,000 people a year coming to the museum in a town of 4,000 people. To put that in context, it'd be like bringing 40 million people to Sydney.
David Lowy, who founded the Temora Museum a decade ago, is a multi-millionaire Sydney businessman whose father is Australia's second richest man. David's also a musician who has played guitar for legendary Aussie rockers, the Angels. His other lifelong passion is aviation.
Well, I wanted to fly since I was 5 years old. Ever since that moment, I've been obsessed with aviation, and that was a long time ago.
David didn't actually get his wings until he was 30, but rapidly developed a taste for aerobatics and won the National Unlimited Championship in 1998.
As soon as I did that, I haven't flown a competition flight since. But I wanted another challenge. And I had one Warbird at the time. I had the A37. And I thought, well, I'll collect a couple of others. And that was the genesis, if you like, of the Temora Aviation Museum.
To help get things started, David enlisted the help of Buster Crabb, an FA-18 pilot with the Canadian Forces, who has also served in the Royal Australian Air Force.
When we initially started out, I don't think even he knew where this was going to go. So we had one Dragonfly, and that was realistically it. And then it slowly grew and, got a Spitfire, got a Wirraway, all this stuff. And it got to a point where we sort of thought, hey, maybe we could put on displays for the crowds.
And we thought, well, gee, we better talk to the crowd. So I ran up and got my guitar amplifier and a little microphone, and we gave it to one of the people helping us to do some commentary whilst we were flying the 3 aircraft that we had. And from there, we realised that we could put on regular flying days here, and the museum's just grown and grown. Now we've got 14 aircraft here, and we put on a number of flying days a year, probably more than any other museum in the world.
The museum's main mission is to display ex-military aircraft that have historic significance to the defense of Australia. Its collection includes a Vietnam-era Cessna A-37 Dragonfly, a Cessna O-2A, 2 World War II Spitfires, and a Cold War classic Canberra bomber, which requires an explosive charge to start the Rolls-Royce Avon turbojet engines.
We've got the only Canberra in Australia, and I don't think there are any other civilian Canberras flying anywhere in the world. It's painted in the markings of a very famous Australian squadron operating in Vietnam.
Temora's collection also includes a very rare Gloucester Meteor fighter.
So the Meteor behind us is very unique. It is the only flying single-seat Meteor F8 in the world, and so I'm very privileged to be able to display that for the people. The engines, of course, fairly large. They were built off the supercharger of the Merlin from the Spitfire engine. During World War II, it would have been a very good contender, but as we saw in the Korean conflict, it wasn't really a match for the MiG-15s, and thus the Australians changed the Meteor from the air-to-air roll to the air-to-ground roll, and it seemed to do a lot better there.
At today's display, Buster is once again putting the Meteor through its paces for the crowd.
Why we do a lot of the high-speed passes is it's the shell casing ejector ports underneath the Meteor set up what's called the Blue Note. So if I can get her coming across at about 600 kilometers an hour, it sets up a wonderful resonance that people can hear coming from a couple kilometers away. Graceful lines of the plane too. I mean, a lot of them, just like the Spitfire, you could sit and watch this thing just go back and forth all day long at high speed, and I'd never get tired of that.
The Temora Flying Days also feature visiting aircraft, including Grumman Avenger bombers. Their distinctive folding wings are a legacy of their use as carrier-based aircraft during World War II, when they were flown by many Australian airmen in the Royal Navy Fleet Air Arm. And among the display pilots, the famous Australian Red Bull racer Matt Hall, flying his own P-51 Mustang. Plus, flying the Mark 8 Spitfire, his fellow Red Bull air racer Nigel Lamb from England.
I have a very long association with Temora. I first came here in the early 90s, and then David invited me out to fly the Mark 8, which you see behind me here, in the first, or one of the first museum public days.
To have the opportunity to be involved in a flying museum is really, for any pilot, a bit of a dream. And has me flying in events like I did today with 2 Spitfires, a Kitty Hawk and me in the Mustang, and things that you don't get to do every day, that's for sure.
With respect to all those who live around here, but in the middle of nowhere, globally speaking, you have this incredible treasure. And what is astonishing is when you look around, every single airplane flies. I think that's amazing.
There's a lot of personal pride when you land and you just see people just so excited about what happened, and it's not egotistic, it's actually just an excitement that you were able to make people have that emotion.
And in terms of emotion, Temora is able to offer war veterans, like World War II pilot Lyle Roberts, reunions with the aircraft they flew in combat.
A number of veterans regularly visit the museum. That's another thing about the museum. It's as much about people as it is about the aircraft.
Beautiful to see these World War II planes magnificently restored. The music of Merlin is really music to my ears, and I'll never stop wanting to listen to it.
The aircraft that is real music to the ear of David Lowy is still the first Warbird he owned, the Cessna A-37 Dragonfly.
This one here behind us was built in 1968. It was used by the South Vietnamese Air Force, and we understand that it was a South Vietnamese Air Force pilot defected with the aircraft, defected to the north, and it was used by the north as well as the south. But of course I love the A-37. It's got plenty of horsepower and it's a beautiful aircraft to aerobat around the sky. Most manoeuvres are done at 270 knots. We never do more than 4G to prolong the life of the aircraft. I then go into a loop, then a derry turn down the other end for a reversal, come back and do a 360-degree flat turn into a full Cuban 8. Then out for a reversal, back for a barrel roll. Off the barrel roll, another reversal and a curved pass on the knife edge in front of the crowd. Then into an initial and pitch and land. It's a short display, but it shows the aircraft off very, very well, and it's a joy to display. When you land and you get out, we interview in front of the crowd, which you don't often get at a lot of air shows, so it makes it an interactive, intimate experience with the crowd, and that's what we're really looking for here.
And helping to inspire the next generation is Temora's Unsung Heroes program.
Our Unsung Heroes program is really for relatives of all the unknown airmen and women and engineering staff that nobody knows about, but every one of them's a hero in their own right. And we also film and archive many of the veterans that visit the museum so that we have their stories recorded for all time. I think it's really important for future generations to know the sacrifices made by Australian men and women to make Australia the great country that it is.
Hit subscribe and come along for the ride. For deeper insights, check out my books, Lessons from the Sky and From the Pilot's Seat. They could make all the difference on your next flight.